So the Eagle has landed, or in this case, the 49er has landed after 43 days and nights at impasse. The Niners have paid the man. And boy, have they ever paid the man, if you have not heard yet. And maybe not. The San Francisco football team has issued a massive cartoon-sized check to defensive tackle Nick Bosa. Bosa gets paid. How much? 5 years, $170 million. But even if he sucks, he's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history because the actual amount, see, people say the $170 million, which is a good number. Boy, I'd like to have that number. But the number that is even better than that is the actual guaranteed amount of money. And we are told that Nick Bosa is going to get over $122 million. He lives in California, though, during the season. So after taxes, he'll clear about $500,000. But still, that's a good amount of money compared to everyone else. So the extension, $122.5 million. As we put the contract in context, it is now the gold standard for anyone not playing the quarterback position. So let us discuss, how can Nick Bosa live up to the 49er contract? So I've got Navy, cockpit, and central casting. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make some goulash. That's what we're going to make. Some delicious goulash over noodles on a kind of a cool night. That's a good thing to eat. No, it's that cool right now, but it'll be cool soon enough. So Navy, cockpit, and central casting, and we will begin with this. Nick Bosa goes without saying, but we'll say it anyway because we have time to fill. He's now in a different zip code, right? He's in a different zip code. He's moving on up to the east side, a deluxe apartment in the sky. And he definitely has a piece of the pie there for the 49ers, as the old TV show said back in the day, and an amazing mitzvah. Now, I don't know Nick Bosa. I'm certainly not a 49er fan. They're a rival of a team that I like, but from a football standpoint, this is a wonderful move. Nick Bosa has been a dominant player. That's why he's getting paid, right? It's a wonderful mitzvah, as he said. And Nick Bosa, though, becomes the measuring stick. And he is now swimming in a very small fishbowl as the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. He has won not Maller's mountain of money, the 49ers mountain of money is what he is taking home now, the $122 million. Now, among defensive players, his annual salary before taxes, $34 million. So that passes like ships passing in the night Aaron Donald of the LA Rams at $31.7 million. I know you're concerned about the finances of Aaron Donald as well. Does he need to renegotiate? So this means there's an old line that one of the great boxing promoters from a different generation used to have, and I'm gonna repurpose the line from Don King, who's, I believe, still alive. He's right there near the pearly gates, but he's still with us, Don King. And he said of situations like this, that a guy like Nick Bosa, defensive tackle with the 49ers, is now going to be more scrutinized, despised, politicized, dramatized, chastised, analyzed, moralized, stigmatized, sensationalized, and criticized than anyone other than quarterbacks. It's the way it is. And every mistake, every bad game, every time he gets hurt and misses a game, that will be highlighted. It goes with the real estate, and I think we'd all sign up for it. I know I would. My hand is raised. I would sign up for it, and so would you. So, but Nick Bosa now, he has to go full to, in order to make this work, right? What does Nick Bosa have to do in order of making this contract a success? For him, it's a success no matter what, but for everyone involved, what does it need to happen? What has to happen? So Nick Bosa, after several seconds of thinking about this, Nick Bosa needs to go full Navy. He needs to, in order to live up to the contract, Bosa, when I say Navy, he has to drop anchor as the headliner anchoring a championship defense. Aaron Donald did it. Now, Aaron Donald got paid a lot more after the Rams had won the Super Bowl. Nick Bosa's been in the big game with the 49ers, but he hadn't won it. The Niners have been knocking on the door in the NFC, but they haven't gotten it done. And so that's it. I say with all these contracts, in baseball, basketball, football, in terms of the team component, you got to win. Mookie Betts, when he came over to the Dodgers and the Red Sox, got paid insane to the membrane amount of money. A forever contract. But won the hardest World Series of all time, 2020, in a global pandemic with the Dodgers. So he, no matter what happens the rest of the way, that's there you go. Dodgers hadn't won a World Series in a generation. 49ers, it's starting to add up for the Niners, right? Joe Montana, Steve Young, those guys are old. So the Niners, those of us that remember the 49ers winning all the time, getting old ourselves. All right, now page 2 here. There's a lot of buzz around the football world of what this leads to. The fallout from Nick Bosa getting paid. Most money for a non-quarterback in NFL history. We saw Micah Parsons. Talked about him in a previous episode of the show. Micah Parsons, defensive star in Dallas, saying he's, quote, super happy, close quote, for the 49er rival, Mr. Bosa. So if you take 3 steps back, here's the question on this one. What does the Nick Bosa contract do for Micah Parsons, who doesn't play, obviously, the Niners in Dallas? So the pilot has gotten on the PA system and told the flight crew to prepare the cabin for takeoff. We're about to take off here, and Parsons is currently sitting in the cockpit, and the airline, he's not flying American or Delta or Southwest or JetBlue. He is instead flying the Mega Millions airline, and he's going to be in the cockpit there. It's a relay race, and Nick Bosa has just handed off to Micah Parsons the hammer, the golden hammer. And that is the next milestone to pass will now be Nick Bosa. And that seems to be the way it works. Whoever's next gets paid the big money. Now, last we're going to move away from the 49ers. We have a story involving the last starting quarterback that has now been named. After days and days of treading water, we go to Arizona. And one of the few times we can talk about the Cardinals, the last puzzle piece, the last jigsaw puzzle piece has been put in on your quarterback puzzle as the Arizona Cardinals, we are told, projected to be the worst team in the NFL. They have named Joshua Dobbs as their starting quarterback. That's right. Josh Dobbs will be out there instead of Clayton Tune. He wins the job, and Arizona opens up with the Washington Commanders, and Dobbs will be the commander of the Cardinals huddle. He'll be breaking the huddle there. So how will Joshua Dobbs do as the Cardinals quarterback? I'm glad you asked. So I don't think he'll be terrible. I really don't. I mean, there's actually some value. The perception on Arizona is so terrible. I'm getting ready for this TV show, Benny versus the Penny, and I'm looking at some of these teams that are dreadful. I'm thinking, well, is there a shot they can kind of hang around? And Arizona's brutal. They're trying to suck and all that, but that doesn't mean they're going to get smoked in every game. Doesn't mean that. And Nick Bosa is the epitome of the perfect quarterback for the Cardinals, as I said, because it's right out of central casting. The Cardinals' goal is to blow, right? They just want to be Sucky McSuck is what they want to be in Arizona. And so you got this substitute teacher who's in there. It's like, people say, let him watch cartoons all day. I'm a sub. Man, I loved that. When I was in school, I had a substitute teacher who had no ability to teach. And I was like, let's watch movies today. We're going to watch a movie. Thank you. Yes, that's good teaching. Let's watch old movies. That's wonderful. But the goal is to not get blown out in everything. They want to be bad, but you want to not be dreadfully bad. And so Dobbs can be a professional and at times make some game-changing plays, but will also equalize that by going out and tripping over his own shoelaces from time to time. So the Cardinals, I don't think they're going to drown. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm very rarely wrong when it comes to this. And once the injuries pile up, see, that's the problem. Once you get later in the year and the injuries start piling up, you don't have a lot of depth to start with, and then that really becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of doom for your team.